What is going on, movie meals? Movie meals! The movies are back! We're not quarantine meals anymore. How I just made that joke while filming, and we never once made the idea or thought to do quarantine meals is a mistake. It's a mistake on you, Kyle, and it's a mistake on me. Those are errors that we've made. Before we get into any further of the video, this video is actually sponsored, guys. Movie Meals has a sponsor. A good friend of ours has started a new website called Amateur Auteur. It is awesome. He does great essays about pretty much anything in the world of entertainment. Please go give him some love. He's got essays about Friends, The Ideal Heroes. His website is built so beautifully. Go check him out. His writing is exceptional, and we love everything about him. I've loved both his essays so far. He's got 2 up and currently working on even more to come. So Movie Meals, please go check out Amateur Auteur. You can follow them on Twitter as well. Everything will be linked down in the description. Go check it out. Anyway, we are here to talk. Kyle and I went back to the movies. That's what the title says. We went back to the movies. So we're going to just talk about our experiences. Did we feel safe? How did it kind of go for us in a small town? Obviously, we're in Montana. We're in bigger cities in Montana. We're top 5 cities around here. But we're not LA or any place like that. So we're just gonna discuss it. So Kyle, what movie did you see, and what did you think of the experience going back?
Well, the first movie I saw was for Unhinged. Kind of a weird movie for my first time being back at theaters. Nothing like, spectacular or memorable or anything, but there'll be a review for that down the road, so I won't get too much into that movie. But
one day.
I was curious to see how this was going to go. I'm someone who is immune compromised, but I love the movies, so I was really excited, but at the same time I was nervous. I mean, I get nervous, at public places already, like grocery stores. Even though I have my mask on, I try to, do all the mandate stuff, 6 feet apart, this and that. So for me, it was kind of nerve-wracking for me kind of going back into a theater, but, and take this with a grain of salt, because I was, we're, like Alex said, we're in bigger towns of Montana, but even that's not saying too much. It was really nice, actually. I mean, there was almost no one around. I mean, it's the first weekend back, so it's going to take some time to see a lot more crowds, but there was really no one there. Everyone who was working there was doing everything they were supposed to, cleaning stuff, having masks on, doing all the social distancing policies from what I saw. Being in the screening that I was at, I mean, there was only one other person, and even they were far apart from me, and I think that's going to be happening for a while. It's not like anyone's going to really make sure to try and be sitting right next to you and be all buddy. No one likes to do that even before COVID happened. So for someone who's immune compromised and loves movies at the same time, I felt pretty safe. I had a good time being able to go back to the theaters, just kind of by myself in a way. And honestly, I felt safer than I would in, a restaurant or grocery store, any other type of public place. And that could change over time. People don't really realize that movie theaters are starting to reopen again, but so maybe the crowds become more and more big each week. But for right now, I felt very comfortable. I felt totally safe. I was doing everything that they asked and was supposed to, and it went simple enough, no sweat. So, for my first time back, I think it went pretty swimmingly.
So, to point out to the viewers too, Kyle and I guess if you're new for some reason around here, we lived together for 7 years, 8 years, something like that. And then we had to move for work. But so we together, where he still lives, is at a Regal. I'm now at a Cinemark, so we've got 2 of the 3 big heavy hitters outside of the AMC, and I think AMC gets the track record for kind of being the best, nationwide at least. But real quick before I dive into mine, Kyle, how many people were in your showing, and what time did you go?
I think I went to a 3:30 showing. There was only one other person that was there. Again, they sat far apart from me. It wasn't like, they were trying to be buddy buddy, sitting up close to me. They were on one side and I was on the other side. It wasn't at like the biggest screening there, but it was, still a good sized theater for what Regal sizes are there.
And then,
it didn't feel crowded or scared at all.
so it's just the two of you in that, and are you talking the small theater? Because I've been to the theater. Are you talking that real small one?
Yeah, it's one of their smaller ones.
Yeah, I'm sure in the large ones for you, they're a lot better. My theater, a small one, is like the medium to large size at his theater, and he's in a bigger city than I am. But did they have plexiglass or any covering at the counters?
I believe I didn't go to the ticket counter. I just did my tickets online. Save the trouble of being face to face with as many people as possible.
Whoa! A military helicopter with soldiers sticking out just flew over, like really low. That scared the bejeebies out of me. I'm keeping this in, Movie Meals. That scared me. I'm looking at a lake, and there just this massive military helicopter. We going to war? What happened?
It's 2020. That's not a.
I could see soldiers sitting on the back of it. They were flying way too low to be over a lake. All right, anyway, I'll talk to my dad about it later. So they had plexiglass, correct?
Yeah, at least at the candy counter they did. And I'm pretty sure they did at the ticket booth.
Okay, and then when you bought online, did it black out seats next to you? So if you bought one ticket for yourself?
Yeah, they were spaced out to where you can either pick one seat like away from people, or sometimes there was the occasion where you could have like two seats, but then they would still space it out to where those two people will be far away from others.
Okay, so for myself, I went to a Cinemark and I saw The Empire Strikes Back. So I checked a big thing off of my to-do bucket list before I die, because I've seen the prequels. I've seen every sequel they've made in the theaters. The only Star Wars I haven't seen in the theater is the original trilogy. I mean, if you really want to come at me, you could say some other whack stuff, but it's the original trilogy. So not only did I get to see one of the original trilogy, but I got to see The Empire Strikes Back, which goes, it's 1A, 1B for me with A New Hope. I love it so much. And I went with one friend, somebody I've been around. I'm not immune compromised like Kyle, but a lot of my family is, so I've been taking precautions as well. And went in with the masks. We bought online as well, and they blacked out 2 seats everywhere. I believe it was 2. So for the 2 of us, there were 2 seats, the 2 in front, behind, and to our side, nobody could get. And when we went at like 4 in the afternoon, we went at like 2 in the afternoon on a Friday, which I can't do now, which is a bummer, but because work started. But we were the only ones in the theater till about 25-30 minutes into the Battle of Hoth, and some guy walked in and sat down, and it's like, who the heck walks in 30 minutes late to the Battle of Hoth, you wackos? But I felt fine with him in there. He was like 4 rows in front of us, 4 or 5 rows in front of us, but we were in the middle. He was way to the side. He was on the aisle. So I felt fine. They had all the glassware. They wouldn't allow you to take, if like my friend ordered food for the both of us, not to share, but just ordered in one go. And they wouldn't let me he couldn't take my food. I had to take my own stuff that I was going to be consuming or drinking, which all that was good. They had tons of hand sanitizer stations around. Did you have any of that? We had hand sanitizer, wipes everywhere.
Not wipes, and I don't even remember seeing hand sanitizers now that you think about it.
Well, for us, it was everywhere. I did get my tickets online, but I'm a member to their subscription plan, so I'd normally do that anyway. But everything else felt really good. There were plenty of people who came in with masks on. I didn't know if there was a rule. I still don't know, I guess, if there's a rule that if you have to wear your mask when you're not eating, or if you don't, if you're far enough away. We did. We weren't going to if nobody showed up. We were excited. We were like, man, Empire Strikes Back. No one's here. It's the two of us on an afternoon. This is going to be awesome. And then we had a blast until that guy walked in. And then it was still great. But we were like, we were going to, because, you know, I've been around him without my mask for months. So I know he's good. So it really is just about who you go comfortable with. But I think if theaters are going to try to come back, I don't know. I'm hearing to me, it sounds like Cinemark went a little bit more of the extra mile, but it sounds like Regal is doing a very good job as well. So theaters are back, and I think they're here to stay. I don't think they're going to shut down again unless it's a massive state order. But I had a great time back at the theater. I hope people start going back and just being safe, wearing your mask, doing all that important stuff that the CDC says you should do. But I had a great time. I thought they did a really well job. My buddy and I were saying we should go to as many movies early as we can before the people get back. Let's go see the big movies like a Tenet before everybody gets back to the theater. And then I start to feel more worried. If I can get to the theater and no one's there, I'm going to have a great time. So, Kyle, you got anything else you want to chime in on your experience or anything I said or the helicopter that flew by? Sorry.
You did make a good point about people wearing their mask, with the exception of eating food. I did notice the one person that was in my screening, though he was far away, that I'm pretty sure they had their mask off the whole time. And they had, you know, a bucket of popcorn and, you know, it was only us two far away. So I wasn't terribly worried about it. But it did cross my mind to me thinking, I really hope that people don't bend the rules in that way. Like, especially if week after week, more and more people started coming back to the theaters, like we still have to be really safe and cautious about this. And these theaters, they're already having to deal with so much already. Like they're trying to make business back again. Like, let's just try to be kind. Let's just try and make things easier on the employees, especially since its employees are like high schoolers, you know?
Yeah.
Like they, you know, they're already.
Or they tend to be much older.
When it comes to a job.
Or they tend to be much older. They're either high schoolers or they tend to be like retired and just kind of want a gig and they like, you know, they go to free movies, stuff like that. I will say though, I mean, the CDC says, you know, to really get it is face-to-face talking for about 15 minutes closer than 6 feet or, you know, about 6 feet or closer. So in a theater, you don't really have that because you're never looking face-to-face. So I'm sure a lot of people won't wear the masks. It might have been a mandate and I just wasn't aware of it. We had people come in. I mean, I had maybe like 12 people throughout the movie come in and check on us, which seemed very high.
Really?
But these guys are also bored. Like there's not anybody there and they're being paid, so why not go check in a bunch of times? And they do say, you know, it's one of the worries. I'm a teacher. It's one of the worries we have in schools is being in a room is the problem. Is that if that'll spread throughout the room, even if you're not necessarily face to face. So we wore our masks when we weren't eating, took them off when we were eating. Again, we wouldn't have worn them had that guy not walked in because there would have been nobody in the theater but us. But if there's anybody else, please wear your mask in the theater. I mean, take your minute, eat. It doesn't take that long to eat popcorn. I can get a large down in about 20 minutes flat. So
yeah, you made a good point about having the employees check on their screenings constantly. Because for Regal, they didn't do that for our screenings. I don't remember someone walking in and checking to see if people were wearing masks or whatnot. And, you know, part of it, I don't know, maybe because 2 people, who cares? But I did notice that, and that's something that I think Regal should do, as apparently Cinemark is doing. Whether it's because they're bored or because it's a mandated instruction, I do think as more people start coming back, that is something that theaters should really harken down on. And again, like let's just make it easier on the employees. Like they're already having to do all that extra mile stuff, which is unfortunate. So let's just make it easier on them. Let's just try to be, you know, respectful to one another. Let's keep this virus down as much as possible.
That's still, for everything.
You know, watching a movie.
Yeah, that should go without saying, but it sucks that we have to say it. To wrap up here as we finish we went back to the theater video. I will say I hope theater or movie companies, Disney, Warner Brothers, all these companies are willing to put their movies back out. I mean, Kyle and I today talked more about Mulan and how Mulan is still coming out on Disney Plus, which is fine. But if your theaters are opening, why not? I think maybe they should release it in the U.S. Tenet has already been released overseas. Kyle's making weird noises over there.
That was? Oh.
Sounded like it, but anyway.
No, I'm good.
Like a movie like Mulan, now that my theater's open, I feel safe. I understand the rules and regulations. I also, and Kyle, you can chime in here as well. Like, I plan to go to later showings or earlier showings. You know, I might aim for the less packed showings on maybe a less packed day to see if people come back. I did ask. I saw Empire on the Friday after they opened, so I asked him if he got a lot of, or no, what day did we no, we went Sunday, excuse me. I went Sunday and asked him when they opened on Friday if they've had business, and he said, you know, more than we expected, but not more that like so much where we felt overwhelmed. It's like people want to go back. They want to do it safely. He said people have been great being there, which was nice. I just asked him briefly through his little plexiglass. And that made me happy, that people actively want to go back. They want to do things. And I hope theaters really use that as an opportunity. Go to different showings, you know. Maybe go to a later showing or an earlier showing than you would have and move some plans around. Like, I might go see, obviously, the times they give matter, but I'm just glad they're back. It was nice sitting down. It was nice eating a large bowl of corn. I missed that popcorn. I had missed all that stuff. Felt super safe. Yeah, any final thing, Kyle?
No, for us anyway, it's our normal lives. So to have that normalcy back after 6 months of such weird situations and times that we were in, it felt good. But again, like, we have to. This is a team effort. Like, we really have to make sure to make this easier on theaters, to make sure that the theater industry still thrives so well. That we just be respectful, that we do our best to help them out, and once studios start seeing that people want to come back to the theaters to see movies, then we'll keep getting this, and hopefully in the process we'll be able to solve this whole COVID thing and put that to bed. But until then, we just have to take the extra step, the extra mile, but we can still enjoy movies though. So
yeah,
we'll see how this goes. But for right now, I'm feeling good.
We've seen other countries open up, obviously, because Tenet's already playing in other countries. We've seen that they understood what they could do. We just didn't do that here in the U.S. There's a way to go. There's a way to still be out there and to do it safely for yourself and for everybody else. So hope people do that. Guys, please tell us if you went back to the movies. If movies have been open for a little bit, it took a longer time for us to get ours open, but for many people in bigger cities, they've been open for a little bit. So some people aren't going, some are. Maybe being in a place like Montana makes Kyle and I feel a little bit better too, because the population is less that we would go. But let us know your experience, how you're feeling. Are you going to go? Or are you not going to go? Keep being safe out there, guys. As always, like, subscribe, and share. Check out our new show, The Get Back Guys, if you're a sports fan at all, especially the NFL, because we are ramping up with NFL talk. And the NBA bubble specifically are the two things we've really been hitting. Go check that out at The Get Back Guys. You can find that on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. So go check that out. Everything will be down below. Comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.